Hi, hello, and how are you? How are you? How are you? Hi, hello, and how are you? How are you today? Hi, it's me again. I hope you enjoy this next one I'm going to read. It's Ivan, the remarkable true story of the shopping mall gorilla. Written by Newbery Medalist Award winner Catherine Applegate and illustrated by G. Brian Karras. This is the inspiration for the major motion picture that was on Disney Plus not too long ago. There's also, well, she originally wrote a novel about him. But now he's a picture book. Ivan. Her dedication is for everyone who loved Ivan. In leafy calm, in gentle arms, a gorilla's life began. Aw. The baby was born in a tropical forest in Central Africa. He was part of a large family of western lowland gorillas. The troop included babies, juveniles, females, and a male leader, the silverback. This is the male leader over here, the silverback. So he's in Africa, that's where he came from, huh? The more the baby gorilla grew, the more he played. The more he played, the more he learned. He rode on his mother's back. He listened to the hoots and the grunts and the chest beats of his father. He watched the older gorillas, clever and quick, as they wrestled and chased and swung from the vines. See the daddy gorilla beating his chest like gorillas do. He did not learn about humans until it was too late. Poachers, those are people that capture animals. They had loud guns and cruel hands, and they stole little gorilla and another baby gorilla. That's not nice. After thousands of miles and endless days in a black, damp crate, at last came light and fresh air. Oh boy. That does not look fun. Poor babies. Just leave them where they belong, in the forest. The jungle. The jungle was green with life. It was gone. The gorillas had traveled halfway around the world to Tacoma, Washington. A man who owned a shopping mall had ordered and paid for them. Paid for them like a couple of pizzas, like a pair of shoes. Well, we're here in New Jersey. Tacoma, Washington is way across the country. Over there by California on the west coast. We're on the east coast. People cooed and laughed and held the babies. They dressed them in human clothes and fed them human food. The shopping mall owner ran a Name the Babies contest. The winning names were Burma and Ivan. They're in a shopping mall. That's so interesting. I've never been in a shopping mall that had animals, especially gorillas. One dark day, soon after the babies arrived in their strange new world, Burma died. Without her, Ivan was all alone, with too much left to learn. Oh boy, poor little Ivan. He had to learn many things gorillas in the wild don't ever need to know. The one thing Ivan didn't need to learn was how to eat. The more he ate, the more he grew. The more he grew, the less he could live a human life. in a human house. What's going to happen? A cage in the mall became Ivan's new home. There wasn't much to do. Sometimes Ivan watched TV. Sometimes he played with an old tire. Sometimes he finger painted, signing the papers with his thumbprint. Mostly he watched the humans watching him. Ivan was about 13 when his coat began to shimmer with silvery white hairs. He'd grown into a silverback gorilla. In the jungle, he would have been ready to protect his family. But he had no family to protect. In the mall, year after year passed. People began to grow angry about Ivan's lonely life. Children and adults wrote letters and signed petitions and held protests. Because that's sometimes when things are wrong and you want to change them, you get a lot of people to sign something, and then something called a petition. And then sometimes you can make a change. Ivan lived in his cage without the company of other gorillas for 27 years before he was sent on another journey. This time, the hands were gentle. Zoo Atlanta wasn't a jungle. It was a place with walls. Still, the breeze carried jungle sounds and scents. Scientists who understood the needs of gorillas helped Ivan adjust slowly, carefully, gently to his new life. Well, that sounds good. This is the crate he was in. It says, handled with care. Ivan's toys, live animal. And here he is at the zoo. Zoo Atlanta, that's in Georgia, which is back on this coast by us. So he came back across the country again. Finally, it was time. Was Ivan ready? Cameras clicked. It was big news. Reporters watched. Where's he going? He's going out of the place with the walls. When Ivan stepped onto the cool green grass, the sunlight gleaming on his silver hair, people cheered, and they laughed and they wept with joy. Ivan, the shopping mall gorilla, was in a place with trees and grass and other gorillas at last. Yay! Oh, that's great. In leafy calm, in gentle arms, a gorilla's life began again. Ah, that means his life started over. Here, this is a picture of the real Ivan. Such a cute story. I hope you enjoyed it.
At the B&I shopping center, amidst cash registers and shopping carts, inside 2 concrete rooms and a trailer just beyond the sporting goods, lives a 400-pound silverback gorilla named Ivan.
Hi, I'm Jody Kerrigan, the Assistant Curator of Primates here at Zoo Atlanta, and basically that just means I am a supervisor of our primates here. I'm really excited to talk about Ivan. Ivan was a Western lowland gorilla that I had the privilege of working with for 10 years while he was here at Zoo Atlanta. As a Western lowland gorilla, he lived in Africa, and that's where he was born. He was actually born in the wild. He was sold as a pet and lived in a home for several years of his life before moving to the B&I in Tacoma, Washington, where he spent about 27 years of his life at the B&I by himself, And then in 1994, he came to Zoo Atlanta, and that's where I was able to work with him here. Ivan has been made very popular by the book, The One and Only Ivan by Katherine Applegate. And it won the Newbery Medal, and it's now being turned into a movie, which is pretty amazing, especially because Ivan lived here at Zoo Atlanta for 18 years. And before that, he was at the B&I. In the book, it was called the Big Top Mall. And every day we have people coming here asking about Ivan and what he was like. Just the other day, I was in one of the habitats setting up for the gorillas, and one of the girls pointed and said, "You took care of Ivan." So it's really special that we were able to work with him and just form a very strong bond. When I first started here in 2003, I don't know what it was, but immediately we had a connection. And he followed me. He just wanted to spend a lot of time with me. And it worked out really well. He was such a unique gorilla. He wasn't your typical gorilla because of his upbringing. He had a lot of human qualities about him, which is not normal for a gorilla. And it just made him very unique and very special. So, painting is one of many forms of enrichment that we do here at Zoo Atlanta, and not everybody is really into painting. So for the gorillas, for instance, we create a device made out of PVC, and there's a paintbrush that's attached to the end of it. And normally what happens is we're not able to give them the entire brush, but they use the PVC and maneuver the PVC to paint on that canvas. And so that's one of the ways that most of our gorillas will paint. If I were to give another gorilla a canvas, they would just break it and destroy it. But Ivan was so gentle with it. Ivan, of course, was just unique and different, and we were able to give him everything. And then when he was finished painting, he would give it right back. Ivan lived till he was 50 years old. That is an amazing lifetime for a gorilla. That's like a 100-year-old human. So he lived to be 50 years old, which is pretty amazing.